I hope everyone is here right now. I think there are 32 participants. Still people are coming, joining. So let's join, let them join. Few are still left. So how are you people?
Ma'am, we're fine.
Okay, that's great. Are you studying? Are you going through the lectures and everything?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's nice to hear. Well, so that's nice to see you people all. I mean, there are 34 participants, so take the screenshots of your attendance because it will be helpful to you. I'm also trying to take the screenshots, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Of the attendance because it will be marked in the end of the session. So now as it's your lab, shall I start now? If you are all, I mean, there, shall I start? Shall we
Yes,
start
ma'am.
now?
Okay. We can start now.
Okay, so
Yes, ma'am.
we are here today for the lab, right? So I need to know from you people now, what are your questions and what are your confusions first? Then I can answer them one by one, right? Yes, please start. About your lab, you can start and you can ask me whatever questions or things are in your mind first. Yes, I'm waiting.
Ma'am.
Hello?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, please
Yes,
repeat.
yes.
Yes, repeat again. So
Ma'am,
because I was a
ma'am,
little
in
bit.
online session,
Yeah.
the practical demo of practicals helps a lot, while only the theory.
Yeah. So.
If you show some practicals to us, like if some demo,
Yeah,
then
of
we
course,
can understand.
of course, definitely. I'm here for the demos. And you just tell me which. Now I have a. If I start from the beginning, or if I shall start from which step you want to understand, because when we were physical there, in face to face during the lab hours, I have given enough demos. I don't know if any of the groups have missed. I don't understand कि आपको अभी भी नहीं समझ में आ रहा डेमोज में है तो काफी सारे मैंने दिए थे but if you want to ask any particular I mean step I can explain it again or shall I start from the beginning you just tell me one thing that शुरू से बताओ
Ma'am,
या
after preliminary test.
after the preliminary examination okay so पहले तो you must tell me what preliminary examination explains to us what it conveys about a known compound. If you have a known organic compound, what impressions you are going to get when you go through the preliminary examinations? What I mean, what ideas you get when you go through the preliminary examinations? Do you have that thing first clear in your mind?
Ma'am, some physical properties like its nature, solid or color, flame test, these things.
Okay, flame test. What do you mean by
Initially, we
flame test?
understand.
I mean that is the ignition test you're talking about. ignition test, right?
Yes, ma'am. Ignition test.
That's for sure. It will tell you it. Can you tell me, people, how you can perform your ignition test? Do you make the solution or you do it directly on the flame?
No, ma'am. We do directly on the flame.
Okay. I would appreciate if somebody else also answers, because it's, I mean, everyone is unmuted. So I would appreciate if you raise hands, and if you can just raise hand and you just let me know, raise hand, and then let me know who is, ready to answer. Yes. So what was, I mean, there were 4 to 5 steps of the preliminary examination, which are very necessary when you are dealing with a, known or an unknown compound. Why we provide you known and a known compound initially is just because of your own practice and ideas, so that you will be able to get the ideas. Then you will be provided an unknown powder on a watch glass. When you have a watch glass in your hand and there is some powder over it or some compound over it, and you are asked to reply, okay, what is this, right? Which compound you are holding in your hand. So you should have that thing in your mind when you will go through the series of preliminary examination, right? And when you complete your preliminary examination, you know the nature of your few of the points. You know about your compound's nature, that what color it has, what state it is in, which order, or what type of an order it has particularly, and then of course the other things, that is the what is its pH, whether it's acidic or basic. And then what does that ignition test conveys you, whether it's an aromatic, aliphatic, what type of a compound. If it gives you aroma, it's aromatic. If it doesn't give you aroma or black soot, it's aliphatic. Well, and then you will go for the saturation test, and solubility is very important. It was not mentioned in the list, but I have made you people write it down on the that scheme. I don't have the scheme right now. My scheme is left in the office. So I can't explain it, and I can't go to office right now because of the COVID. It's all closed. So I will go to the office and I will bring the scheme, and then I will let you know about the things which if I forget anything, you can you have the schemes, you can ask me, because the scheme is still in my mind. I can easily reply you. I will try to reply you, and I would like to clear all your questions, right? So you are asking about the second point now. If we jump to the second step, so now for the second step, you will simply write down like this. Step number 2, you will write it like this. Step number 2. And in the object, you will write the same identification of known, unknown organic compound. The same thing you will, or whether you are dealing with first compound, I have assigned you benzoic acid, right? So you will, you know the name of the compound. You will simply write down identification of a known organic compound. And when you write down known, you are going to write down in the bracket benzoic acid. Benzoic acid, right? Like this, you will write it down. Benzoic acid. And step number 2. What is the step number 2? Then you will write down detection of elements. Now, this is the step number 2, which you will write it down, detection of elements at the top. It will be written at the top of the, after writing down step number 2 and writing down the object, you will jump to, this heading, that is detection of elements, because this is your step number 2, to identify even the known organic compound. You know, we know the compound, we know its name, we know its molecular. If you know the compound, definitely you can make the structure of the compound also, because now you know the compound. So you can make the structure of the compound, that this compound you are dealing with right now. Can you see easily? Nazar aa raha hai aapko? Okay, so in this way, you know, because now you're dealing with a known compound, so you can write, you can make the structure of the compound, and that makes you see easily that which functional groups are there, right? Whether it's a saturated compound, unsaturated compound, if unsaturations are there, if it's a conjugated compound, if it has got alternate double and single bonds, what type of a compound it is. So you will get the idea when you know the name of the compound. Now, if we jump to this section, that is detection of elements. Now, before jumping to detection of elements, now which elements? Of course, carbon and hydrogen. We are dealing with organic compounds, right? So organic compounds, basically, they all hold the elements, that is carbon and hydrogen is already there. The rest of the elements, that is nitrogen, sulfur, and halogens, we are now going to detect in your organic sample, which has been provided to you, though we know the name of the compound. But what happens? What if so you don't know the name of the compound? Tab kya hoga? What would happen? Then you have to go through each and every step, right? When only a powder or a solvent in a liquid form is provided to you, or a powder or solid form is provided to you as an organic compound, both comes under the category of organic compound, as I've mentioned in my first demonstration in the lab. If somebody asks you what are organic compounds, you simply say both organic solvents and organic solids, they come under the category of organic compounds, right? So what I was saying, yes, if now detection, we jump back to detection of elements. For that, you need to prepare a Lessingers filtrate, a sodium extract, right? Because you have to convert it into its, they are covalently bonded. So you need to convert it back into its ionic forms, right? So that it will be detectable. And for that, you need to prepare the sodium extract, which we can call it sodium extract or a Lessingers filtrate, right? Because Lessingers was the name of the scientist who invented this particular method to go through different series of steps. That is, after preparing sodium extract, you will take a few mLs of that sodium extract in a test tube. If, for example, if this is a test tube, you will fill it with a little bit from the sodium extract, and then you are going to add different, compounds in it, and you are going to perform 3 tests, right? Now, what are those 3 tests? That is, test number 1 is test for nitrogen, then test for sulfur, and test for halogens. These are the tests which you are going to perform when you prepare your sodium extract. Now, the question is how you are going to prepare the sodium extract. Now, the sodium metal we use. What is sodium metal? It's a metal, right? It can be used as an explosive, and it's very hygroscopic. That is, it catches, it reacts in the air, right? So it is always kept in some solvent, and that solvent is mostly kerosene oil, right? In which it is kept. It is never kept in the open air, right? Because it's hygroscopic. And what else? If it is not, kept in this kerosene oil, then the next substitute would be, I think, sulfuric acid. The concentrated sulfuric acid is used to keep this sodium extract. So now, this sodium extract, what things you'll be needing for preparing sodium extract. First step is preparation of sodium extract. This is how you're going to write preparation of sodium extract, right? This is what you're going to do. Then there is in your schemes, just go and see there is a method there, right? And above the method, they have given us the reason why we are preparing the sodium extract. Because they are not identical, their identification is not possible when they are in their covalent state. So you need to convert them into their ionic state, and for that we prepare the sodium extract. Now, what you're going to do, you will be needing I think, yes, a China dish. That is what do you call it? Not a China. Yes, China, of course, a China dish. That is a porcelain. and you'll be needing the sodium metal, and you will be needing a small spatula from which you can cut down the small piece of sodium metal. You will be taking an ignition tube. An ignition tube is a tube used to ignite something. This is ignition. This is an ignition tube. This is an ignition tube which you will be needing for igniting the sodium metal. Now, a sodium metal is a piece of metal. Sodium metal. You will introduce that sodium metal inside the ignition tube. You will introduce the sodium metal inside this ignition tube. Now keep this thing in your mind that ignition tube is supposed to be dry. We never wash the ignition tubes. It is supposed to be dry. This is the black piece, is the sodium metal, though it's not black in color. It is silver in color. So I think I have some presentation also how to put the sodium metal. I will find out and I will make you see in my next class how you can introduce the ignition in the ignition tube. Now you will cut the piece of sodium metal with the help of a spatula, and in the dry, if this is for example an ignition tube, right, it should be dry. It should not contain any water. So you will cut a small piece of sodium metal and you will introduce inside the this ignition tube, right? Now in a China dish, you have already, because in normal conditions, we always work in a group form, right? So there are many participants. So everyone holds some responsibility. I mean, if you are 4 to 5 people in one group, one would be holding this ignition tube. The other candidate friend will be holding, some water or distilled water or other things that are needed for the preparation of sodium metal. So it's a mutual, work, and it can be done by a single student also. When we were of your age, when I was of your age, humne to ye akele hi kiya tha, because we have a lot of chemicals. Those days, we never used to do it in the groups. We do it individually, but now we are short of chemicals, so you need to be working in the group during the normal sessions. Right now, we can't do anything, but you can only listen to it, how you can do it. So, you have to divide the responsibility into different sections to all the group members. Everyone should participate when you are doing some experiment, right? ये नहीं होगा कि कोई एक ही प्रधानमंत्री बन के बैठ जाएगा and I will do it only. I am the captain. I am everything. I am the, king of the game. No, it's not like that. Everyone has to participate in the experiment section. Yes?
Student guide कहे जो wait करने पे.
जी? Okay. Only 2? There were only 2.
Yes, ma'am.
3. Fine. Joined. They have joined now. Now there are almost 38 participants. Okay, so I was telling you about this ignition tube, right? Now, because the first step is to prepare the sodium extract, right? And this is the very important step. You cannot escape this step. You cannot start your detection of elements. You cannot perform the second step without preparing the sodium extract perfectly. Now, sodium extract, when you prepare it, the final form should be colorless. It is supposed to be colorless. It should not hold any color. It should not be blackish in color. It should not be grayish in color. It should not be reddish in color. It should not contain any color. It should be colorless. Keep that thing in your mind. This should be colorless, right? So what you are going to do, that you are going to, first of all, in the China dish, you will add 20 ml of distilled water and keep it at one side when you are organizing your experimental session, right? Now you will introduce a small piece of that sodium metal inside this ignition tube, and with a pair of tongs. Now keep this thing in your mind, the pair of tongs are not supposed to dip inside the China dish when you will drop this thing into the China dish, okay? So don't do that. Just wait a minute. I think I have a china dish. I bring it here and I will show you. Just wait a minute. Okay, I'm coming in 5 seconds. Yes, I'm back with my china dish because I knew that we are now going to be under the lockdown condition. So I used to bring things to home, right? I have issued few things so that I can, because I also give you the video lectures. So these things are useful. So this is an ignition tube. I know, so this is, sorry, a china dish. And I know everyone knows it because you've been using this since when you entered the chemistry department, right? It's like that. Now, the purpose of showing you this is that you are going to fill it with 20 ml of distilled water. It is recommended in your scheme that you must put 15 to 20 ml of distilled water inside this china dish, and you will hold. Now, what you're going to do, the china dish is kept at one side of your desk. Now you're, with the help of your, if this is a pair of tongs, you will hold it, and if this is a flame, now your sodium metal is inside just at the bottom, as I've just shown you. If this is a flame, you are going to heat it over the flame slowly. First, a very slow, gentle heating. This is called a slow, gentle heating. Slow, you will put it over the flame, away. Put it over the flame, then again away. You will see some changes inside on the sodium metal. You will see some sort of little bubbles, or you will see that it has started changing its composition. That means it is silverish in color. So it will start melting, right? And when it starts melting, it will reshape itself into a mercuric bulb. Have you seen a thermometer's mercuric bulb? Thermometer has got a mercuric bulb in the end. आपने थर्मोमीटर देखा होगा, उसके एंड मर्करी बल्ब होता है, इसकी एग्जैक्ट शक्ल वैसी हो जाती है. It will just look like a mercuric bulb when you are heating it over the flame. So again, now you will hold it and you will again start heating it over the flame like this, right? Again, now you are going to do the strong heating. Now, okay, now you have your organic compound at one side of your desk also. It's also lying in a watch glass. So you will take a spatula of your organic compound and you're going to put it, just a few granules, you're going to put over the this sodium metal, right? And you will heat again for a while. Now you will see some changes that are happening because that mercuric bulb, it starts reacting with your organic sample, which you are analyzing. You will do a slow, gentle heating first. Slow, gentle heating. Now, after some time, after a few, seconds, 1 or 2 seconds, you will again add few granules of your sodium organic compound, and you will pour over that sodium metal so that it should cover the sodium metal only. Cover, that means it should have the shape of, now I'll draw a bigger figure so that you can see. Now you will fill it to this mark only. Just see how much you are going to fill it. ये देखें इधर. How much you are going to fill it? Only to this level. This is your sodium metal and this is the level of your organic compound. only you will fill it to this much, point where it should cover your sodium metal. That's it. Only that much only you are going to fill. ऐसा नहीं होगा पूरी ignition tube आपने भर दी compound से. No, it should never be like that. You will only cover the sodium metal. It's supposed to be inside your organic compound. सिर्फ इतना हमको उसमें fill करना है. Now you will again do the strong heating over the flame. Again, a very strong heating. Off and on, and keep taking this in your mind that your direction of your ignition tube should be straight. It should not be like this. It should not be like this. It should not be like this, because sometimes what happens that the sodium metal is explosive. It bumps outside. ये एकदम जोर से बाहर आता है, just like a bullet. And if it, God forbidden, it gets in touch to your skin or anything, it can give you a very deep burn. It's very, reactive. You cannot touch it. Never touch the sodium metal with your fingers, with your bare hands. Always use spatulas, glass rods for using this sodium metal, and keep away from water molecules. So हमेशा कहा जाता है कि इसको अपने मुंह से भी थोड़ा दूर रखें, because when we are speaking, we are constantly, spraying. There are water molecules that are coming out from our mouth. So ये उसके साथ भी react कर सकता है, and it can catch fire, right? So you have to, this session is about to end. So when it ends, I will again join you people, okay? I am having the, indications that the session is about to over. This Zoom cloud, it goes for 40 minutes only. पता नहीं 40 minutes होने वाले हैं. It will end in 10 minutes. So जब end हो जाए, I will rejoin again you people, okay? So now you will do the strong heating over the flame. It's like that, right? Strong heating until you will see that the ignition tube, the bottom of the ignition tube, it starts becoming red hot. It is red hot. Red hot का ये मतलब ये कि इसमें लाल रंग का bulb start हो जाएगा चलना. No, it would not like an ambulance siren over it. It would be like, something when you burn it on the flame. कोई भी चीज आप आग के ऊपर गर्म करते हैं, आप देखते हैं ना, when it reaches to that point, when it becomes red hot. So this ignition tube, the bottom of the ignition tube, it will be red hot. At that moment, you are going to, this is very important to see, with the help of this, you have this 20 ml distilled water, you are going to drop it like this in the ignition tube. बिल्कुल करीब ले जाके, and you are going to drop it in the ignition tube. It's like that. Just drop it inside this. You see like this in 20 ml of distilled water. Now nothing will happen because the whole of that ignition tube was, burnt, and it was ready to be dropped inside the water, right? Nothing will happen because you have completed the reaction. If some unreacted sodium metal would be left inside it, of course, it will catch fire. That's why I mentioned it to you that do a complete strong heating, that the flame should cover the ignition tube like this. This is the flame and it is covering the ignition tube like this. आपका इस तरह से इसको जलना चाहिए. Top तक, ऊपर तक flame इतना बड़ा होगा, इतना your flame would be so huge that it should burn the whole of the ignition tube. Whole of the ignition tube should be. This is some, you suppose that this is fire. These fingers are fire. Just see the fire is holding the ignition tube like this, right? It is burning it. So now when the reaction is completed and when you are going to drop it with the help of these pair of tongs in the 220 ml distilled water, nothing will happen. It won't catch fire. Kuch bhi nahi hoga. Now with the help of this glass rod, you are going to crush this like this. Can you hear the voice? Crush. Isko aapne pakadna hai aaram se, and then you are going to crush it. This, if this is your ignition tube, you will crush it. Aista, 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 slowly, slowly, you will crack it down into very small pieces, right? Now, after this, you have a burner, right? And you will boil this mixture over the flame on the tripod stand. I have shown you what is a tripod stand in one of my videos also. And over a wire gauze, you are going to keep it over a wire gauze, and a tripod stand would be there, and you will keep it there and give it a boil. Isko ek boil denge. Let it boil. It's 20 ml. So isko boil kare till it becomes इसके 5 ml should evaporate. Reduce its volume. 5 ml volume should be reduced. ठीक है, कितना आपने इसको reduce करना है? इसका 5 ml volume तक आपने इसको reduce कर लेना है. सिर्फ 5 ml. Only 15 ml would be left because that would be enough for performing your rest of the 3 tests. That is your test for nitrogen, test for sulfur, and test for halogens. It will be enough for that. You need only this much amount that is needed for your performing your rest of the 3 tests, which you are going to do it with the help of the sodium metal. Sorry, so this sodium extract. Okay. So after giving a boil and reducing it to 15 ml, it was 20 ml. When you dropped your ignition tube into it, when you dropped the ignition tube, it was 20 ml. You reduced its volume to 15 ml. 5 ml iska uda diya aapne. Now you are going to filter it. Filter it off. Keep it at one side. Now observe the color of your sodium extract. What is the color? It should be colorless. Iska koi rang nahi hona chahiye. If it's colored, repeat the process again. That means you have done some contamination. That means some impurities are mixed in it. And I mean, you will not going to get the results you are looking for. Keep that thing in your mind. So you must discard it on the spot. And again, repeat the same procedure with more precautions, with more, I mean, care, right? With more care. So now, in the journal, you will write down the preparation of sodium extract. After writing down the heading, आपने इस जगह पे लिखना है जो आपके स्क्रीन के अंदर दिया हुआ है, preparation of sodium extract only for one time. Write it down here in the first, I mean the second step. Preparation of sodium extract would be written only for once, right? ये आपने लिख दी because it's the same for all the experiments. The rest of the experiments that you are going to come across, सब में यही procedure होगा. Same you have to repeat every time in the second step when you are identifying a known or an unknown organic compound, whatever the compound it is, right? But you would need to prepare the same way. So एक दफा लिखेंगे हम procedure and that is enough for all the experiments. Now on the next page, turn to the next page. And if you go through the video, मैंने उसमें थोड़ा सा बताया हुआ भी ये कैसे है. Okay, you will write down detection of elements, and you will write down experiment, observation, and inference. And you will make the 3 columns. ऐसे आपने करना है. नजर आ रहा है? Can you see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it's just in like that in your scheme also. आप अपनी scheme को देखें, उसमें भी ऐसे ही बना हुआ. Then the first step is the test for nitrogen is ferrous sulfate test. Test for nitrogen. That means test for detecting your nitrogen in your sample, that whether your sample contains nitrogen or not. Now, in our case, we know that our compound is this, benzoic acid. So, क्या जवाब आना चाहिए test for nitrogen का? What would be the answer for this test for nitrogen? Would it be positive or negative?
Absent.
Absent. It would be absent because there is no nitrogen in our organic compound. As we know the name of the organic compound, we know the structure of the organic compound, so we know that there is no nitrogen, but we will still perform the test. We will still perform the test. So just to confirm that we know how to do the, test, right? आपको confirm करने के लिए, and for your practice sake, you need to confirm the, absence of nitrogen in your this test in your organic compound. You have to prove it by this experiment. किसी का भी positive नहीं आएगा, हर एक का negative आएगा. Okay, and then you will write down here. It is test is written there. You have to take few mLs of the sodium extract in a test tube. You will add ferrous sulfate, then you will heat it for a while, and then you will add few drops of concentrated sulfuric acid, into it, few drops, 1 to 2 cc, I think, like cc means milliliters, mLs. So half ml you will add, but with a drop-wise manner, never in a rush, no, always in a drop-wise manner. And the session expires, so we are again back. I'm admitting all. I hope only the students will join and there wouldn't be any nuisance, I hope. Because last year students, they did mischiefs. So, and I uploaded with the with their mischiefs on the YouTube. It's there. What did they do? So it's on the YouTube. So their families would also see what they are doing with their teacher, right? Someday, somewhere, their families will also see how they are behaving with their teacher. So I hope, if I'm admitting, because the teachers ask me not to admit all, but I know my students, they hold huge respect for their teachers. That was some outsider, I think, that came and did that mischief. So there I am. Now we have almost 31 participants. So I don't know where I've left. Test for nitrogen, I was telling you about the test for nitrogen. So after completing the test for nitrogen, now you will know that your compound does not have nitrogen in it, because you have seen no, no change in your compound, right? There is no change in your sodium extract. It's just the same. So that means if the color is same, if it does not change its composition, and of course, if it is not at all Prussian blue in color, that means nitrogen is not there, right? So you will write down you will simply write down no action or no blue color, no Prussian blue color, no Prussian blue color. That means nitrogen is absent. In the inference, you will write down nitrogen is absent. In the observation, you will write down that there is no Prussian blue coloration, and in the inference, you will write down nitrogen is absent. Okay, in our case, that is benzoic acid, when you are dealing with benzoic acid only. Because after this first compound, we will do the next compound that will be containing the nitrogen in it. So you will be having different observations. Your results will differ. Okay, you will not write down everything that is written on your scheme. No, you will move according to your results. You will follow the steps, but you will move according to your results. The results you are getting, you will write it down on your journal on the spot, right? So after performing test for nitrogen, we will jump to the next test, that is test for sulfur. Now, I don't have any scheme in my hand. These are the things that are feeded in my mind and somewhere kaise humne karte rahe hain. So if I would have the scheme with me, I've tried to find it, but it's not at home. So I will try to get it in my next session. Test for sulfur is also very simple. It's a single step reaction. You will again wash your test tube. If this is your test tube, you will wash it and you will add again 1 ml of your, or 2 ml of your sodium extract into it. And you will add some compound. I don't remember what was it. It was, आपके पास तो स्कीम है ना, पढ़े कोई read out test for sulfur.
Yes, ma'am, scheme है.
पढ़े, read out. I forgot the test.
Ma'am, first of all, salt, carbohydrate.
Second test. So second test for sulfur.
Ma'am, second color, white.
What will you do? Read the test. पहले test तो पढ़ो. Color क्यों पढ़ रहे हो?
जी मैम, टेस्ट
टेस्ट फॉर सल्फर पढ़े बेटा स्कीम के अंदर से. Just read test for sulfur from your scheme, what it is. So after that, you are going to have a reddish color. If you will have a red color, reddish precipitates, that means your sulfur is present. But if you don't have that reddish or something precipitate, you will not be having. And there are indications also when to perform the test, when not to perform this test, right? When nitrogen and sulfur both are present, and when nitrogen is only present, there are indications in the scheme also. आप लोग तो पढ़ भी नहीं सकते हो सही तरीके से, रीड तो करो टेस्ट को. You're not
Ma'am,
even...
Assalamualaikum. May I read?
Sure, please.
Test for sulfur.
Yeah.
A, sodium nitroprusside test.
Oh yeah.
Add 2 to 4 drops of freshly prepared solution of sodium nitroprusside to 1 ml sodium extract.
Very good.
And observation होगी violet coloration, और ये presence अगर violet coloration होगी तो मतलब sulfur is present.
Okay.
And then second test is lead acetate test.
That is confirmatory. That is confirmatory test. Okay, now keep this thing in your mind. That is, first test is your test for sulfur. If you get your violet coloration, that means if your sulfur is there, that means now you are going to do the second test, that is test lead acetate test. It is the confirmatory test. एक टेस्ट ऊपर पहले टेस्ट होता है, उसके बाद उसका confirmatory test होता है कि yes, now because you get your positive results, so then you will do the second test. But if your first results test comes negative, फिर आप lead acetate test नहीं करेंगे. In our case, क्या result आएगा? Is there any sulfur in our compound?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so फिर negative आएगा. Okay, फिर negative आएगा. That means आपने फिर से वही सब कुछ लिखना है, and then you are going to write down the sulfur is absent. Okay, then you will not perform that confirmatory test. That is lead acetate का जो test है, ये confirmatory test होता है. Okay, it gives you the confirmation that yes, your compound contains sulfur in it. Now, after doing these two tests, we'll jump to the third test, that is test for halogens. लेकिन वो जब उसमें भी कुछ indication है दी हुई ऊपर, just read that indication. जो दी हुई है, what is present, then you are supposed to do the test for halogens. कुछ होगा उसमें भी, I think so. I don't remember exactly, लेकिन कुछ होगा जरूर.
Ma'am, before halogens, there is test for sulfur and nitrogen present together. Ferric chloride test.
Okay. Ferric chloride test. Okay, so that is again, they are telling us that if your nitrogen and sulfur both are present, then perform this test. Otherwise, don't perform. Okay. So in our case, we don't have the compound, right? We don't have that, nitrogen in it. We don't have sulfur in it. So we will skip that. So आपको इससे अंदाजा हो रहा होगा कि आपने जो कुछ आपकी स्कीम में है वो as it is आपने छाप नहीं देना. You are not going to copy paste all whatever is written in your scheme. No, you will simply move according to your results, your compound, right? The compound that has been provided to you. This is the practice that tells you that how you will move according to your scheme. Okay, and this is the way. This is the exact way that you will see. Yes, you have the compound, and it is giving you this and this result. So that means now you will choose these options from your observations, and you will write down the observation, and there you will select the results over there. As for example, now you have no nitrogen, so you wrote nitrogen is absent. You have no sulfur, you wrote no sulfur is absent. Okay, then there is an indication of both nitrogen and sulfur are present. Then do the ferric trichloride test, right? So इस तरह से आपने इसको move करना है according to your लेकिन we have to do, हमने करने जरूर है just to confirm. Unfortunately, now we cannot perform. I'm so sorry for that, but you know, it's for everybody. COVID ने तो सबको सत्यानाश कर दिया हर चीज को. But inshallah, when we will be back, hopefully in one day, you must come to me and I will make you do everything in the lab. ठीक है, तो लैब में भी हम इसको जरूर करके एक दफा आपको देखिएगा कि how it goes on in the lab. वैसे there are virtual labs also on the net. आप virtual labs के ऊपर जाएं and they will show you how they are doing it virtually. मैं भी कोई ढूंढती हूँ, कोई वीडियो मिली तो I will show you on virtual labs how you can do it. लेकिन उसमें और confusions बच्चों को बहुत last year हो रहे थे, so I thought that I should not use that virtual lab. They were not following. So I bring such small things home. ताकि I have this, I have beakers, I have an ignition tube, I think, I have a tripod stand. I have few things जो मैंने वहाँ से department से उठाई हैं, and I bring it here so that I can teach you from home. Okay? क्योंकि मुझे पता था कि COVID होना है जबरदस्त, और उसके बाद there would be no classes, nothing. So कुछ चीजें I have at home, but I cannot make a laboratory at home, right? Laboratory तो नहीं बना सकती ना मैं. So inshallah, when we will get back to our labs, I will show you. So in this way, the 3 tests will be completed, right? You will write down as now your benzoic acid, it does not contain the nitrogen and sulfur in it. It does not contain even halogen in it. There is no halogen. So all the tests are negative. You will write down negative, 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 and there are no, there's nothing, right? But for your practice sake, we did all the tests, right? Just for the practice, we did all the tests, and for the confirmation, yes, that our compound does not contain anything in it, right? It is benzoic acid, right? Now, when you will jump to the 3rd step, that is the classification test, you are going to have आपके दिमाग में पक्का पक्का होना चाहिए, because what classification test tells us, it tells us about the functional groups that are present in your organic compound. Which functional groups? That is, if it has got alcohols, if it has got aldehydes, ketones, if it has got amines, if it has got carboxylic group. So we have a carboxylic group there. So what test positive आना चाहिए. Here we have double bonds there. Test for saturations, unsaturated. वो हमारे positives आने चाहिए. तो functional groups हमारे पास इसमें 2 मौजूद हैं. There are 2 functional groups, right? So this is the basic idea behind all this. I hope you have followed this perfectly. So write down this test also in your journals with the date, today's date, 29th April 2021. And then write down this test also, make columns, 3 columns. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया है, पहले पेज के ऊपर आपने कैसे लिखना है, experiment number 1. Step number 2, you will write down experiment number 1, same experiment, step number 2, and that is detection of what is the object. तो आपका वही रहेगा, of known unknown, और आपका known है, so you will write down benzoic acid, and then you will write down detection of elements, the detection of elements, and then you will make the 3 columns. No, you will write down the preparation of sodium extract here. आप sodium extract की preparation लिखेंगे, and on the fresh page you will write down, make the 3 columns, and you will write the 3 tests with your results, okay? With the assumed results, as we have not done it in the lab, लेकिन these are the assumed results कि ये होने चाहिए, because हम अपने we are working like a scientist, a true scientist. Scientists, they work on such things, right? But they perform also. बगैर performance के there is no science. I mean, लेकिन I'm sorry कि अब हम नहीं कर सकते, so we have to go through. आपका कम से कम ये तो हो रहा है कि you are getting some knowledge from your teacher. समझ तो आ रहा है ना? Am I helpful to you people or not?
Yes, ma'am. Very helpful.
Okay, that's very great. Oh, एक बच्चा बोलता है, बाकी सारे खामोश हैं. ये 31 people, what they are doing, huh? You are not agreeing? ऐसा लग रहा है कि आप agree नहीं कर रहे. सबको खुश होना चाहिए ना कि आप पढ़ रहे हैं, आप in touch हैं, हाँ?
Yes, ma'am. Much
Yes,
helpful.
ma'am. I agree.
That's great, because we are at least in touch, we are connected, and when we are connected, समझे कि सारी दुनिया हमारे हाथ में है जब हम connected हैं. ठीक है ना? थोड़ी सी मुश्किल है इंटरनेट में, मेरे पास भी कभी आ रहा है, कभी वीक सिग्नल्स आ रहे हैं. आई एम नॉट कैचिंग यू पीपल, बट यस, एट लीस्ट समथिंग इज बेटर देन नथिंग, राइट? यही लास्ट ईयर भी हमारी सेम ऑब्जर्वेशन थी जब आदि यूनिवर्सिटी अगेंस्ट थी कि ऑनलाइन क्लासेस नहीं होनी चाहिए, नहीं होनी चाहिए. आज वही लोग जो है वो कह रहे हैं कि ऑनलाइन क्लासेस लो. आई मीन द गवर्नमेंट चेंजेस एंड बट द स्टेटमेंट्स, दे आर ऑलवेज देयर. हमें अभी भी याद है जो लोग मना कर रहे थे लास्ट ईयर, पॉलिटिशियंस ऑफ द यूनिवर्सिटी, आज वो कह रहे हैं लो क्लासेस, ऑनलाइन क्लासेस लो. तो हम तो जब भी ले रहे थे. I was the most regular teacher who took all the online classes, right? And I submitted my results on LMS. सबसे पहले मैंने जमा किए थे. And I got appreciation from my vice chancellor also at that time, that I was the first one जिसके सारे green थे LMS के ऊपर, all greens were there. So अपनी तारीफ नहीं मैं करी, but I'm telling you the last year कि पिछले साल क्या हुआ था. So you can compare yourself. आप डिसहार्ट नहीं हो. Last year भी ऐसा ही था, और वो बच्चे हम फाइनल ईयर में आ गए. And I don't know what they are doing there, because now again they are doing everything virtually. 2-3 लोग मेरे साथ connected हैं. They are saying that we are doing everything, virtual. हर चीज virtual है. So let's hope for the best. Good days will come, and you will see and you will perform everything in the lab, hopefully. So I'm glad now, and I am about to finish. So if you have anything in your mind, please let me know. If you are happy, if you are, getting more points, Please keep this thing in your mind. और labs आपकी हो रही हैं? Inorganic की हुई है, organic की हुई है, दूसरी कोई lab?
No, ma'am.
No,
Not
ma'am.
all.
No labs? क्यों भाई? Teachers कहाँ हैं? एमए काजी के सारे? उनको उठाएं, सोए हुए हैं अभी तक रोजा रख के. हाँ, रोजा ये तो नहीं कहता कि कोई काम नहीं करना. रोजा तो कहता है सब काम करें. तो वेयर आर दे? आपने मुझे तो उठा दिया, मैम लैब ले. तो देखिए, आई एम हियर. हाँ, कल भी आपको मैंने बताया था. yesterday also I told you many things about your lab in your theory class, after your theory class, after your industrial theory class. I told you many things. So today again I have given you quite an a lengthy demonstration with, of course, this right. तो ये एक प्रूफ है कि हमारे पास कुछ एक्सपेरिमेंटल चीजें भी हैं. आप लोगों के पास कुछ नहीं है क्या घर में? हाँ, केमिस्ट्री से कुछ उठा के नहीं लेकर आए? याद के तौर पे ही कुछ ले आते उठा के, कोई बीकर उठा के ले आते, कोई ग्लास रॉड. Okay, so if you have anything in your mind, please tell me, because the session is about to end.
मैम हमारे पास जो ये टेस्ट है, जैसे टेस्ट फॉर नाइट्रोजन, तो उसमें जो इसमें स्कीम में लिखी हुई है टेस्ट, हमें वो भी उस पे अपने जर्नल पे लिखनी है कि किस तरीके से हमें वो करनी है.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल लिखना है आपने, ऑफ कोर्स पूरा लिखना है. और उसके बाद आपने शो करना है. यस, देन यू हैव टू शो एंड यू हैव टू प्रूव दैट यू डिडंट गॉट एनी रिजल्ट, राइट? बिकॉज देयर इज नो नाइट्रोजन. जस्ट सप्लाई योर add some points to it कि भाई there is no nitrogen in your structure. It's a benzoyl, it's a known compound, and you know that it does not contain nitrogen, but still you have performed and it has no nitrogen. You know Persian color, blue color is observed. And क्योंकि देखिए ना, जब हम लैब में होते हैं तो डेफिनेटली ऐसा ही होता ना, लेकिन अब जब नहीं है तो फिर अब ऐसे हो रहा है. We have to move according to the scheme. So और उसमें हमें अपनी माइंड को यूज करना है. We have to use our mind कि whether ये ऐसे होना चाहिए or not. So it's happening. Nitrogen is not there, but you will write the test and then you will write down nitrogen is absent, and then you will write down the observation में लिखेंगे no such color is observed, no Persian blue color, no violet color, और halogens का भी जो है वो भी आप लिखेंगे negative, and then you will write down the same thing in the end, and that is in the inference. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
So see you now. Hope you will have a nice fast. हाँ, आपका रोजा अच्छा गुजरे सबका. आप लोग अच्छा दुआएं करें. Keep me in your prayers. Everyone, you are small kids. Allah listens to innocent people, right? हम गुनाहगार हैं, ज्यादा उम्र है तो ज्यादा गुनाहगार हैं, कहते हैं ना. So this is like that. So please keep me in your prayers. It's a holy month of Ramzan, and do study also, पढ़ें भी, and keep in touch. We are connected. Stay confident. Stay happy that we are connected, and you will have a bright future, inshallah. We will make your future. We will never destroy your future, whatever the circumstances are. Till I am living, till एक इंसान जिंदा है, वो आपकी हेल्पफुल जितना हो सकता है. Go through my videos. आपको videos में से भी बहुत कुछ मिलेगा. Okay? The channel is not paying me a single penny. It's only for your help, beta. Okay? That channel is only for your help. ये नहीं होता कि मुझे वहां से पैसे मिल रहे हैं and I'm begging you for subscriptions. No, it's not like that. Just it's for my happiness, because I feel happy when I make the videos. And go through these videos are all on LMS. Okay? तो LMS के ऊपर से भी देख सकते हैं. और वीडियो चैनल्स पे जो न्यू है वो मैंने अभी अपलोड नहीं करी है, बहुत सारी अपलोड नहीं करी है LMS के ऊपर. So I will upload them also. The ones that are useful to you, वो तो पढ़ें. स्टीरियोकेमिस्ट्री पढ़ें, जो आपको नई टीचर्स ऐसे ही बता रहे हैं. वो I'm showing you with the help of models. वो पढ़ें. I'm making more also. So let's see. So go through each and everything, and I hope it will help you out. So that's all for today. Thank you very much. I'm ending the meeting. See you again next time. Goodbye.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Allah Hafiz, ma'am.
Allah Hafiz. Bye bye.
Bye bye.